And then he had started doing 3Q with you.
Yeah.
You
And
knew you knew the routine, and you weren't
at
telling
the
him anything.
time, like he started, I was still drinking, and so I didn't say very much. I didn't want him to know about my life.
I gotcha.
And then, but he would, I saw in your script you have things, because I was famous for one word answers like, I'm fine,
Yep.
we're good. But he would do some of those. Now I know why he did them. But over time, I trusted him more.
How long did that take, do you think?
Not long. He's such a likable
Uh,
person, but a couple months probably.
Okay, right.
But then I started to go, I made a decision to get sober, and I didn't know how to tell him that I really wanted to go to meetings over lunch, but it would take longer than an hour. So I
Yeah.
didn't know, I was scared to ask that. But then
And
in a 3Q, when he said, how can I help? I was like, okay. So I just said,
you knew he was going to ask that question though,
yes,
because
because we had been doing it.
and had you planned or had you toyed with the idea while he asked that question,
No.
or did you just do it like that?
No, I was struggling with how to tell him. Like, I didn't know if I should just walk in his office and ask him. I was like overthinking it to death. So when he said, how can I help? It was just there, like, oh, this is my opportunity.
So what
So
did you say?
I just said, well, actually, I was wondering if I came in earlier every day, like a half an hour earlier, if I could take a little longer lunch. And he was like, well, why? And I said, well, because I'm trying to get sober and there's a really good meeting at noon. And if I could go to that, I think it would really help me. But that would mean I would have to leave at 11:45 and be back at 1:15. So I could make up that half an hour. And he goes, this is great. This is something I can help with. And so he's like, of course, your salary, you can come in whenever you want. I trust you. Do it. Let me know how it's going. He got so excited. So
did you start going to meetings then?
yeah, every day I went to that noon meeting every single solitary day
And
for
what difference? And how
at
did
least a year.
and how did that meeting help you get sober?
Well, that meeting was so good because people would come on their lunch, and it was one of the biggest meetings, and I met my sponsor there. I like that. Those were my people. They knew me. They wanted to see me succeed. So I just like formed a family, really, because I went there every single day.
I know this is conjecture, but if Mike had not asked you that question, and what is the likelihood? How would you have approached him?
I don't know if I would have, honestly, because for probably my first year sober, I was very cognizant of not wanting to be a problem because I knew that I had been a problem when I was drinking. So I probably would have just left work at noon, gotten to the meeting late, and then only stayed for a half an hour. And I wouldn't have gotten the same thing out of being at the meeting.
Because Mike shared his power with you in that way, in terms of giving you permission and accommodated and expressed trust and support and enthusiasm.
Oh yeah.
How what effect did that have on you, do you think, in terms of where you find yourself now?
Well, it was going to those meetings was a game changer because I tried so many times to stay sober and I couldn't. And it was because I didn't let anybody get to know me. So I had nobody to be accountable to. And so now suddenly I had a regular group that I went to every day. So if they didn't see me, I would get messages like, where are you? And then also Michael Swanson, being Michael Swanson, was like, hey, are you going to that meeting today? So then I had like another layer of accountability that was really pretty structured. So I didn't want to let him down. I didn't want to let the people at the meeting down. And so it really gave me a lot of structure that I really desperately needed at the time.
And it wasn't long after all this that you began to actually think about joining the Salvation Army and
Yep.
becoming an officer. And now you are in a position to help a lot of
Yeah.
other people.